Goodwill, charity, thrift store, or corporate thrift machine?
Goodwill started in 1902 in Boston, founded by Reverend Edgar J. Helms. The original idea was actually solid: collect used clothing and household goods from wealthier neighborhoods, train unemployed people to repair them, then resell or redistribute those goods to help people work their way out of poverty. That hand up, not handout model became Goodwill. But today, Goodwill is not just some little charity shop on the corner. It is a massive network of around 150 local Goodwill organizations supported by Goodwill Industries International. And that's where the story gets messy. Because when people hear Goodwill, they think, I donate my stuff for free, poor people get help, and shoppers get affordable deals. And sometimes, yes, that's true. But sometimes it feels like donated goods go in for free and come out priced like somebody's trying to make rent on eBay. Let's start with the big question. Is Goodwill a scam? Legally, no. Goodwill is a nonprofit system, but consumer-wise, the frustration is real. People donate clothes, furniture, electronics, shoes, dishes, books, all for free. Goodwill sells those items, and the money is supposed to fund job training, employment services, and community programs. That's the mission. The problem is, the shopper standing in the aisle looking at a used Walmart shirt priced almost like a new one doesn't see the mission. They see a donated item being sold at a price that makes no sense. And that's one of the biggest accusations against Goodwill. The prices have gotten out of control. Thrift stores used to feel like treasure hunting. You could walk in with $20 and leave with bags. Now, you might find a used jacket priced like it has a retirement account. And shoppers have noticed. Viral complaints have shown Goodwill pricing donated items higher than the same or similar new items on clearance elsewhere. That doesn't mean every Goodwill does this, but it happens enough that people are angry. And here's where Goodwill gets tricky. Each local Goodwill operates separately. So one store might be reasonable and another might price a chipped coffee mug like it was used by Abraham Lincoln. The next issue, valuable donations. A lot of people believe the best stuff never even reaches the sales floor anymore. Designer bags, rare collectibles, better electronics, name brand shoes, many shoppers believe those items get pulled and sent online to auction-style platforms. And honestly, that part is not crazy. Goodwill has expanded online sales. From a business standpoint, they're trying to get maximum value. From a donor standpoint, you might say fine if it funds the mission. But from a shopper standpoint, it changes the whole thrift experience. The old magic was that anybody could walk in and find something amazing. Now it can feel like the regular customer gets the leftovers, while the valuable stuff gets digitally fenced off. That's not illegal, but it does feel different. Now let's talk about the big one. Employees and wages. Goodwill's public image is built around jobs, dignity, and opportunity. But one of the longest running criticisms is that some Goodwill organizations used a federal labor provision called Section 14C, which allows certain employers to pay disabled workers below minimum wage. This is legal under federal law when employers hold special certificates, but it has been heavily criticized by disability rights advocates. The Department of Labor proposed eliminating that program in 2024, saying sub-minimum wages were no longer necessary. The issue is not simple. Supporters argue the program gives some people work opportunities they might not otherwise have. Critics say that's a very polished way to justify paying disabled workers less than everyone else. And here's the brutal truth. If your brand is built on dignity, paying disabled workers below minimum wage is a terrible look. Some states have already moved away from sub-minimum wage employment. The GAO reported that 16 states had eliminated it as of January 2025. Though outcomes after eliminating it have been mixed. Some workers transitioned to minimum wage jobs, while others stopped working and received other services. So the fair version is this. Goodwill has helped many people get jobs, but Goodwill has also been tied to a wage system that many people see as exploitative. Both things can be true. Now let's talk executive pay. This is where people really get heated. Goodwill is not owned by one billionaire sitting on a throne of donated jeans. That internet rumor gets exaggerated all the time. But executives at Goodwill Industries International and local Goodwill organizations can make serious money. According to ProPublica's nonprofit filings, Goodwill Industries International's CEO compensation was listed at over $661,000, with other top executives also earning hundreds of thousands. Is that illegal? No. Is it unusual for large nonprofits? Not really. Does it feel gross to a worker making retail wages while donated goods are being sold for rising prices? Absolutely. That's the tension. Goodwill will say, we are a large organization with complex operations. We need professional leadership. Critics will say, you get your inventory for free. Pay many workers low wages, charge higher prices, and executives still make six figures. And honestly, both arguments explain why the public is so divided. Now, the employee experience. This varies wildly by location because Goodwill is not one single store chain run exactly the same everywhere. But common employee complaints include low wages, high pressure, donation overload, aggressive production quotas, difficult customers, messy backrooms, and the emotional weirdness of watching people donate items with good intentions while workers are told to price them higher and higher. There have also been local scandals involving wage violations, management problems, layoffs, and leadership controversies. For example, Goodwill San Francisco Bay announced closures and layoffs affecting dozens of workers in 2025. Again, not every Goodwill is the same, but the pattern is clear enough. This is not just a cute little charity shop. It is a large thrift retail operation with the same problems many large retail operations have. Low-paid frontline workers, executive compensation, pressure to increase revenue, and customers mad about prices. Now let's talk about the donation side. When you donate to Goodwill, you are not directly handing clothes to poor families. That's the part a lot of people misunderstand. You are giving goods to a nonprofit retailer. They sell those goods. The money supports their programs. That does not automatically make it bad. But consumers should understand what is actually happening. If you want your old coat to go directly to someone who needs a coat, Goodwill may not be the best route. A local shelter, community closet, church pantry, mutual aid group, or direct donation may be better. If your goal is to support job training programs, then Goodwill may make sense. But don't confuse I donated to Goodwill with a poor person received my item. That's not usually how the system works. Now, is Goodwill actually a deal? Sometimes, yes. For certain items, especially basics, books, kitchenware, older furniture, kids' clothes, and random household stuff, you can still find deals, but it is not automatic anymore. The consumer rule now is simple. Check the original price, check the condition, and check online before assuming thrift means cheap, because used does not mean good deal. A stained shirt for $7 is not a bargain if a new one is $8. A scratch pan for $12 is not a bargain if a new one is $14. A broken lamp for $19.99 is not vintage. It is trash with confidence. The old thrift store deal was based on common sense. The new thrift store sometimes feels like algorithmic wishful thinking. Now, to be fair, Goodwill does provide real services. Job training, employment placement, career help, and community programs are part of the model. Some local Goodwills report strong mission spending and job placement numbers. Some truly do good work. But the consumer frustration comes from the gap between image and experience. The image is charity. The experience can feel like corporate thrift. The image is helping people. The experience can feel like overpriced donated goods. The image is dignity for workers. The criticism is that some disabled workers were legally paid below minimum wage. The image is community service. The reality is a retail machine. So what's the verdict? Goodwill is not some simple cartoon villain, but it is also not above criticism just because it has a nonprofit label. The truth is this: Goodwill started with a powerful mission. It helped create a model where donated goods could fund work opportunities. That idea still has value. But modern Goodwill has also become a massive resale system where shoppers are asking fair questions. Why are donated items so expensive? Why do executives make so much? Why were disabled workers ever paid below minimum wage? Why does the best stuff seem to go online? Why do employees often sound burned out? And why does a charity thrift store sometimes feel less affordable than a clearance rack? That's the consumer takeaway. Don't blindly hate Goodwill, but don't blindly worship it either. Shop smart, compare prices, donate intentionally, support local charities when you want direct impact. And remember, nonprofit does not automatically mean pure. It just means the money is supposed to go back into the organization's mission. The question is whether that mission is being felt by the workers, the donors, and the shoppers. Because if the public gives you the inventory for free, the public has every right to ask where the value is going. And that's the real Goodwill story. A good idea, a complicated system, some real community impact, and a whole lot of donated jeans carrying the weight of public suspicion.